Been watching the markets all day long and joins us now with more on that. Excuse me, Rhea, let's go to that NBC special.
This is an NBC News special report. Here's Lester Holt.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is 4 o'clock in the East. Markets have just closed, and what a day it has been. A big sell-off on Wall Street. The Dow closing down about 1,900 points, actually over 2,000 points there. The biggest point drop ever by far, and a substantial percentage drop as well, down almost 8% today alone. Driving all this is fear and continued uncertainty over the coronavirus outbreak and its impact on the global economy, as well as a sharp drop today in oil prices. Tyler Matheson is standing by for us at CNBC. Tyler, break it down for us. What happened?
Well, Lester, this is one for the record books. As you mentioned, largest point drop in history for the Dow, and certainly in the top 6 or 7 in terms of percentage terms. We haven't had this kind of decline since the era of the big crash years and years ago, there back in the 1980s. In truth, you nailed it. Really, it is concern about the global economy and how the coronavirus may ripple through it, slowing growth, slowing corporate profits, and making things just generally much more uncomfortable for the global economy. You mentioned oil. What's happened there is that production is too high to justify where prices were, and over the weekend a price war broke out between two of the largest producers in the world, Saudi Arabia on the one hand and Russia on the other, and that has sunk prices down to multi-year lows in the $30 a barrel. Good for drivers, not good for jobs in the Permian Basin, in the shale oil areas up in North Dakota and other places, and it is certainly a sign that the global economy is weakening. We are now nearly in bear market territory, Lester. We're off within a percentage point or so of that 20% decline in the markets that signals a bear market.
All right, Tyler Matheson for us. Thank you. A lot of moving parts on the coronavirus front today on the West Coast. The cruise ship Grand Princess finally docked with thousands on board, including some who have tested positive for the coronavirus. Aaron McLaughlin is in Oakland. Aaron.
Lester, aboard the Grand Princess right now. Relief. It arrived here at the dock about an hour ago. As it made its way under the Golden Gate Bridge, the passengers could be seen out on their balconies cheering. They've been living under a cloud of uncertainty since last Wednesday. Now some relief that they're here at port. They've yet to be allowed off the ship, but when they do, there will be 3 separate groups. The first group including the sick and the symptomatic, those potentially suffering from the coronavirus, followed by a group of Californians. They'll be brought to a nearby military base, and then the rest of the passengers, all of the passengers, will be under quarantine for a period of 14 days. They'll be tested for the coronavirus. Over 1,000 crew members, however, will remain on board the vessel. They'll then take it out to sea. Destination unknown. The entire process expected to last 2 to 3 days, Lester.
All right, Aaron in Oakland, thank you. Tom Costello has been tracking the coronavirus outbreak. He has more for us now from Washington. What's the latest, Tom?
Well, we've got about two dozen deaths nationwide. 22 is the number right now, 546 cases. But every public health official stresses that, in fact, the real number of cases is certainly far greater than that. We simply haven't had testing widespread for the last few weeks and months. And so the presumption is many, many more people already have had and have the coronavirus. Most of them probably self-treated at home and did not require hospitalization. We've also got 3 members of Congress right now who are self-quarantining because they themselves now have been in contact with somebody who had the coronavirus. That includes Senator Ted Cruz of Texas. Meanwhile, Amazon.com, this giant, of course, in the retail space, is now telling its employees, not just in Seattle, but also New York and New Jersey, to work from home. And that really is the trend we're seeing nationwide, as we have many companies now starting to encourage employees, especially in so-called hotspots, to stay home, work from home, telework as much as you can. And increasingly, more and more events and special sporting events are either being curtailed, postponed, or canceled. Today, the PNB Paribas, I should say, a tennis open in California was canceled because of the outbreak. And you probably have heard Johns Hopkins University is telling the NCAA bracket, in other words, the Division III players that were supposed to play at Hopkins, that they will be playing without an audience. So the question is, well, will that impact March Madness? At this point, the NCAA says no. Might the NBA consider playing games without fans? The NBA says so far no, but that's where this is going now as this ripples across the entire economy in a very dramatic fashion, Lester.
All right, Tom, and rippling, as we said, across Wall Street, a historic day there. A more than 2,000-point drop in the Dow with fears of more to come. We'll, of course, continue to follow all of this. I'll be back with a full wrap-up tonight on NBC Nightly News. For now, I'm Lester Holt in New York. Good day, everyone.
So there you hear